Going guys, it's John with Zebulon Pottery. In this video, we're going to go over how to use the extruder. We're going to go over like basic safety, some tips and tricks, basically everything you need to know. All right, so let's go over some safety. Things that we do not want to do. We do not want to put our fingers in this hopper when this plunger is loaded onto the bar. Once it's loaded on the bar, there is a chance that you could really seriously pinch or damage your fingers if they were in this hopper. Now, that being said, you never want to bounce on this bar. There is a chance that something goes wrong. Maybe a bolt breaks, maybe a beam gives way, all kinds of crazy things. Now, will they happen? Probably not, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. So we're going to plan for the worst and expect the best. We're going to keep our hands towards the end, and then we're just going to use a static load where we kind of just drop down. I never want to stand under the bar because if something went wrong and that bar collapsed, it would bump me right on the head, or if something broke loose, that would be really bad. So that's basically all you need to know as far as safety. So before we start, what do we need? We're going to want to clean out our hopper, and what I do is make sure that there's no like residual clay left in, and I take my hand, kind of scrape in here and give a good visual look through to make sure that nothing's blocking the hopper or nothing's wrong. And then what I'm going to do is make sure I've got clay that's at a nice working consistency. Something you can squish by hand is pretty much perfect. We're going to pick out the die that we're going to choose to use, and then we're going to go ahead and load everything up. I'm going to show you guys how to load the die. This bottom ring is kept on the bar right here, and this is just so it's never lost. So once you need it, you're just going to take it off that bar. You're going to load your die first and then put this guy under. And then there's some washers on this bar. Those washers go up and over where the two prongs are on the hopper. And I try to line my die up so it's really nice in the center of the hopper. If it's not in the center, what's going to happen is the clay is going to tend to want to warp off into one direction, and that's not ideal. With this, you're just going to tighten by hand, and I tighten it as tight as I can. And that way, I'm going to get less leakage out of the side of my hopper. We're going to take our clay, we're going to go ahead and throw it in the hopper. We're going to go ahead and find our plunger, and we're going to load the plunger into the hopper. And then we just follow all of our safety rules, pretty simple. And we're going to just gently put some tension down. And then you're going to see some clay come right out the bottom. Realistically, a good 15 to 30 minutes of working time, which is more than enough. You're never going to use that much time to pull that clay off the bottom, or at least you shouldn't use that much time. If I'm making a bunch of handles for mugs or anything like that, I'm going to take my clay and find a great place to set it down. Let's go over unloading everything. Basically, I'm going to walk the plunger back up. If you're struggling to get it to come up, you notice how I'm trying and nothing's really happening. You could take your hand and kind of stop like this D-ring in the back, and it will come right on up. And then just take your time and walk it. Be careful not to pinch yourself doing this. And then once you get pretty far up, you can then just finish by pushing it out. You're going to take your bottom hoop and stick it back over the bar and pop this right off the bottom of your hopper. And then I usually check to see if I can see any like loose clay that I can grab. That way I don't have to clean anything up later, and I can save a little bit of clay, which is always nice. So if you're interested in taking classes, we're going to put our website down below. If you don't have a wall-mounted extruder, I'm going to put a link to a little handheld extruder that is very nice. And hopefully you found this helpful. And then if you have any questions, ask me or any of the staff, and we would love to help you guys. Thank you for watching.